what is in the best interest of the children.
Data teams have given teachers a voice.
All teachers want to make a difference.
Collaboration.
It is all about student achievement.
This is what's right for kids.
The conversation to focus on every single kid in the room.
Meeting our kids' needs.
Focusing on the kids.
They can feel proud of themselves.
And it just makes sense.
Let's look at what's effective, is improving student achievement.
We're working through a paradigm shift.
Change is hard.
Change is hard.
They gotta shift. It's time.
Data teams are small, grade-level, departmental, course-alike, or organizational teams that examine work generated from a common formative assessment. The data teams process is a model for continuous collaborative action that provides educators with an effective structure for using data to improve teaching, learning, and leadership.
It's about every single child that walks into the classroom. Through this process, it takes data and the numbers and makes it personal. And it isn't the vague generality of, well, we think this is who we're targeting and we think that this is the strategy that will work. It is focused, intentional instruction for student success.
Data teams is one of the most effective initiatives that any school could implement, and here's why. Data teams, many people believe, is about test scores, and data teams has nothing to do with test scores. Data teams is all about cause and effect.
Data and student work samples from common formative assessments are analyzed to identify specific student needs. Educators use that analysis to determine which strategies will be most effective in addressing those needs. Data team meetings occur multiple times during an instructional unit or cycle so that teachers may best plan and adjust their instruction in order to ensure maximum effectiveness. These meetings are collaborative, structured, and scheduled, and are completely focused on the effectiveness of teaching to ensure learning.
The professional opinions of those practitioners at the classroom level is where the magic is.
We get into the habit of just teaching. We get a book, we get the standards, and we teach. Data team is extremely intentional, and it removes that cloud of uncertainty to be sure that we're getting the results that we expect.
Data teams have a common focus or common standard, a common formative assessment, and a common scoring guide. There are 6 steps in a data team meeting. Step 1, collect and chart the data. It is here that data team members enter the meeting with their data assembled into an easy-to-interpret, discussion-ready format. The data should report the overall results of the assessment for the team, as well as for each team member. Additionally, the results should include the number, percentage, and name of students who scored at each level of performance. The data team leader quickly summarizes the data in order to articulate the current status of the team. It is absolutely critical that the student work generated by the common formative assessment be considered a part of the data set. Step 2, analyze and prioritize needs. The specific academic strengths and deficits of each group of students are determined in this step by directly analyzing the work samples generated from the common formative assessment. The identification of the need goes beyond merely labeling what students are getting wrong, but also identifies evidence-based reasons for errors or misconceptions. Student work samples are compared to the targeted standards as a part of the analytical process. Data team members report out on their individual analysis of the work samples and prioritize the described needs in order to focus their instruction on a challenge that is both shared by most students in the group and is a significant barrier to proficiency. This process of reporting out and of prioritization is repeated for each group of students.
The data teams process just takes a lot of those elements that we've had in place for years and that we've heard about in the research for years, but it provides a structure and a protocol for that focused collaboration among the teachers.
This gives us our next step. We've been collecting data, but to this point we did not know what to do with it. So this gives us a real idea of what we're to do with that data, just to make sure that we are addressing the needs of all of our students.
In Step 3, the data team members will set, review, or revise SMART goals. The data team will establish a short cycle, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely goal for student performance after administering the pre-assessment prior to commencing the unit of instruction. Typically, these goals are used to describe the desired level of student proficiency on the assessment at the end of the unit. The team will compare formative assessment results during the unit to the goal that was established and revise the goal if needed. In Step 4, the data team members will select specific instructional strategies. The members of the team revisit the needs prioritized in Step 2 and discuss possible instructional strategies that could be used in response to the prioritized need. Professional research, experience, and training all come to bear as the team decides collectively which of the possible strategies will work best. It is here that the team discusses how they will use their actions to change student thinking. The strategies selected by the team should have a direct and specific link back to the prioritized need, much like a prescribed medication for a diagnosed illness. These strategies should also reflect an adaptation of or modification to our instructional practice in response to the prioritized needs. Precisely targeted instructional strategies are selected in this manner for each group of students.
This is probably the most manageable system to really help teachers shift their focus from the teaching to student learning.
I think what this process is going to do is help us have a more consistent program, not only in schools, but between schools, so that when students move from grade to grade or from school to school, there will not be a tremendous difference in the expectations or the quality of instruction that they get.
Step 5, Results Indicators. In the final step of the actual data team meeting, the team members come to consensus about what effective implementation of each of the agreed upon strategies would look and feel like. Team members build a shared picture of the specific teacher actions that should be taken if the strategy is to be implemented effectively. They also describe how the students will be engaged in or use the strategy in the classroom. Finally, team members describe detailed look-fors in student work that would provide evidence the strategy is having the desired impact. And if those look-fors are not seen, that would be an alert to the team that changes need to be made into the implementation of the strategies. Step 6, Monitoring. The sixth step of the data team process does not occur at one specific time, but is ongoing. The members of the team constantly compare their individual implementation of the strategies to the results indicators that they created in order to make adjustments or ask for assistance as needed. They also monitor daily student work for the look-fors described earlier, and if those look-fors are not present, they collaborate about necessary adjustments in their implementation of the strategies.
Data teams professionalizes teachers and gives them the authority to add or subtract based on a meaningful, relevant set of data. It's not about test scores, it's about building the professional capacity so teachers can make better decisions about the curriculum they're going to implement.
Data teams have given teachers a voice.
We're giving the teachers what they need as well, validating their professionalism and giving them tools in their toolbox to be successful in the process.
The Leadership and Learning Center has documented time and again the incredible impact on student learning and achievement with deep implementation of the data teams process.
You empower your teachers to be leaders of teams. They feel bought in, and leadership and decisions are dispersed throughout the school.
This process has enabled us to take that giant leap forward, to move us from good to great.